I'm in Shenandoah National Park. This is US Route 211. And I'm at a hairpin turn in the road called Turnbridge. That's heading down towards Sperryville. Here's the Blue Bomber. And we're going to close that up. And we're going to head up this way to the top of the turn here and get on Pass Mountain Trail, climb the mountain up to a saddle, and then turn left and head over this direction to a jumping off point. And then I'm going to bushwhack looking for the Menefee Homestead. I'll explain more as we go along. The elevation here is 1,400 feet. Well, the parking is just right around that turn down there. Here's the hairpin turn. Guardrail. It's had a few, it's taken on a few vehicles in its day. And here's the trailhead, Pass Mountain Trail. So here we go, straight up the side of the mountain, basically, until we get up to a saddle. Seven-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm up to 1,800 feet. And this is where the Pass Mountain Trail makes a hard left. That's the way I came up from the from US 211. Pretty steep climb. And then from here it makes a hard left. And we continue to climb Pass Mountain this way. That's where I'm going. This way over here is I'm on a saddle area between Oven Top and Pass Mountain right now. That's an abandoned trail that goes over the top there and down into Butterwood Branch. This old abandoned trail takes you up to the summit of Oven Top. And back around to where I came from, down that way, the Pass Mountain Trail. So we're going to take a left here, and I got a ways more to hike before I get to my jumping off point. Eight-tenths of a mile into my hike. The elevation here is 1,820. And that's where I came from. This is the Pass Mountain Trail. And right there, where you see that little wall, that is a spring. Over there in that area is the Clark Homestead. And I already published a hike on that. I didn't thoroughly explore it because look how overgrown it is. See that? It's tremendously overgrown. But there's the spring. And it runs down through here. I mean, after 100 years, it's still, more than 100 years, it's still running down the mountain. So I'm going to tippy-toe across this and continue to climb. .2 miles into my hike, I'm up to 2,040 feet. This is a little past my originally planned jumping off point. That's the way I came from down there, but maybe you can see it's pretty overgrown down there. This looks a lot more cleared out. So I'm just going to bushwhack to a set of coordinates, I think. If I find the road, I'll follow it. Otherwise, I'm just going to bushwhack to coordinates. I have to descend some, though, to get down there. So I marked this spot. That's what the trail looks like if you continue on up the mountain. But it looks kind of cleared out here. So I'm going to head down this way. And it's about 1/10 of a mile or so to where I had another waypoint. So we'll see where we end up. Okay, not sure if you can tell that. Looks like I found the road or the driveway, whatever you want to call it. I kind of wanted to go this way, but that's pure. But this might go down here and kind of curve around. So I'm going to follow this down at least a little ways and see where I think this ends up. I came from up there, so I came over the edge. Let me follow this a little ways and see where I end up. .4 miles into my hike, I'm down to 1,960 feet. I'm still following the, let's call it the driveway. You can see the mountain's fairly steep here, so it hugs the side, the driveway hugs the side of the mountain. And then right in through here somewhere, it crosses over this drainage. So I'll mark the drainage. I'm just going to cross over here. There's hardly any water in this thing, but I'm going to go over this way and then see if I can pick up the road on the other side and head back down this way. .8 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 1,950 feet. Well, I found the Menefee Homestead. Here's the chimney. I'll try and get some more shots of it from different angles, but there's the chimney. And over, well, let me go out this way a little bit. Here's the, let's call it the front yard. Look how cleared out it is. Alrighty. Kind of, may as well do a 360. Kind of flat, but then up there's the mountain again. Alright, there's the chimney. And then over here, you can see there's a part of the wall. Right over there is a creek, so they had water here. I think I read somewhere that the cemetery is west of the chimney, which would be over this way. So I'll go over here and look around some. Everything's really overgrown. I figured when I got close, all of a sudden I started seeing, see how overgrown all this is? And I came from up there, clear as can be up there. As soon as I got down here and I saw all this overgrowth, I figured, well, I bet you this is it right here. And it was within about 70 feet of some stuff I saw on LiDAR. Probably saw that chimney on the LiDAR. So anyway, note to myself, I readjusted the waypoint Menefee to be close to that chimney. So I moved about 70 feet. I'll get some pictures, and then I'm going to go to see if I can take a look for the cemetery. And then I got to find my way back. Man, I was following the road for a while, and then I gave up on the road because the road probably goes around that hill there. But it was so overgrown, I finally said, the heck with it. I'm just going to hike over the hill and down to get over here. That's more work though. But anyway, let me go over this way to the west and see if I see a cemetery. I know there's a picture in the files online that shows Ben Menefee's first wife, Catherine, has a regular, like, granite marker, professionally engraved and all that over here somewhere. So let's see if we can find it. Well, I'm back to the homestead area. This is standing in the front yard. Back there's the chimney. I looked around quite a bit over this way, which is to the west. Different elevations, looking for Catherine Menefee's tombstone, but I don't see it. If I remember, I'll put a copy of it from the online records. I'll include it in my video. But so I don't know where it is. But here's the homestead for sure. So I've got accurate coordinates for that. Now I just have to cross over this drainage and get out of here. Note to myself, I repositioned waypoint Clark Road number 1 further up the trail by a couple of 100 feet to agree with where it actually intersects, which is right up in there. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Thornton Gap, 1994, and this was a bushwhack hike, first one of the season, to see if I could locate the Menefee Homestead. There's where it's located. Got that off an old map from like the 1930s. I parked down here. This is US Route 211. Sperryville is off to the right. And over this way, at the top of the mountain, is Thornton Gap, where the park entrance is. There's a little pull-off gravel lot here. This is called Turn Bridge, also referred to as the Piedmont picnic area on this map. Walk up to here and then get on. This has been renamed Pass Mountain Trail. Start climbing the mountain until you get up to here. This is a saddle area between Oventop Mountain and Pass Mountain. When you get up to here, you turn left and continue on Pass Mountain Trail. Continue to climb the mountain Now, I wasn't exactly sure where this road was, but eventually I found bits and pieces of it. The actual road runs like this. But the only part of it that I actually saw initially was this part right here. From here to here. I used this as my jumping off point because this was a lot more cleared out than back here. So I started going down the side of the mountain until I found the road. Then I followed the road down to this creek. The road crossed the creek, and then it followed the contour lines around this next hill here. Instead of doing that, though, because it was overgrown, I just climbed up over the hill and back down like this. Found the Menefee place, and the only thing really there now is some rock piles, and there is a chimney. Darwin Lambert in his book mentions the fact that there's a graveyard over here to the west. I went over in through here and looked for it, but I couldn't find it. And then basically back to my car. Now, just FYI, this is a printout of the survey and the appraisal they did back in the 1930s, and this is basically a description of what was there. There was a house, another house, a barn, a meat house, a granary, an apple cellar, a spring house, the graveyard, and an orchard with about 70 apple trees. So it was a nice little place. Ended up being 3.9 miles with a total ascent of 965 feet. And that was the hike for today.